Welcome back to Newslink. Now, Cabinet was handed the 10-year review report of the National Development Plan at its bi-weekly meeting yesterday, but did not discuss the document. The report is critical of government and its missed economic targets, saying things are currently moving in the wrong direction. Well, the National Planning Commission was meant to present the report to Cabinet on Wednesday after its Tuesday briefing was abruptly cancelled at the last minute. eNCA senior reporter Moloko Moloto is following that story and joins us now for an update. And Malume, good morning to you. Thank you so much, I think, for giving us this update. Quite important. Do we know the reasons why this report couldn't be discussed?
Good afternoon, Rahadi. Well, just a slight correction there. This particular 10-year review report by the National Planning Commission was not handed over to Cabinet in their meeting yesterday. You will recall that the National Planning Commission finished its report and they briefed the President individually as well as the Deputy President individually about this particular report, which is quite scathing. I mean, some of the things they are saying there is that not only did we miss many of the economic targets, but they are moving in the wrong direction. They are also indicating there that the state is increasingly corrupt. Now, you would recall that on Tuesday, the National Planning Commission had scheduled to speak to the media and, by implication, the public about this particular 10-year review of the National Development Plan. And at the 11th hour, when the journalists were there and the stage was set for the National Planning Commission to discuss this particular report, we were told that they had been encouraged to abandon that particular media briefing so that they can go and brief Cabinet during its meeting yesterday. That, of course, did not happen, all because of the time constraints, we understand. And you will also understand that today there are preparations for the inaugural South Africa-Lesotho Binational Commission. The President today at the Department of Cooperative Governance and International Relations is today hosting the Prime Minister of Lesotho. So as a result, that particular report was not handed to Cabinet and it was not discussed. Supposedly they will discuss it at some other stage. However, having spoken to some of the people during that Tuesday meeting or media briefing, which was unceremoniously cancelled, we heard that actually the minister in the presidency, who is also spokesperson to Cabinet, Khumbudzo Ntshabeni, had telephoned the commissioners, including her counterpart or her colleague, Maropeni Ramokgopa, who is the minister in the presidency responsible for the National Development Plan and is also the chairperson of the National Planning Commission. And as a result, she insisted, we were told, that the media briefing had to be cancelled so that the commissioners can go and brief Cabinet, which was bizarre, Tumelo, if you consider the fact that the chairperson of the National Planning Commission, Minister Maropeni Ramokgopa, is a member of Cabinet, and you therefore wonder whether she was not aware of those protocols. But also bizarre is that you would recall that sometime in August, specifically on the 10th of August this year, Cabinet, every time when Cabinet meets, they issue out media releases to kind of like appraise the public on what they would have said. And they said then on the 10th of August that Cabinet acknowledges the 10-year review of the National Development Plan, which they said in their statement that they are aware that we are not making headway in terms of eradicating poverty. The economy is not benefiting the majority of the people. So you therefore wonder if indeed the National Planning Commission was forced. Actually, it was forced. It's not even a matter of whether it was forced or not. It was forced to abandon its plan and go and brief the Cabinet yesterday, although due to time constraints, that did not happen. You therefore trying to juxtapose the two, what Cabinet has said in August and what transpired now. Now, maybe let's listen to Minister Ntshabeni there, because I did ask him to say, how do you respond to these allegations that you telephoned the Commission at the 11th hour to stop their media briefing, and she neither agreed or declined that she actually instructed the Commission to stop their media briefing? But let's listen to her.
In terms of the briefing of the National Commission, the National Planning Commission, I think people are giving me too much credit of what I do not know. The fact of the matter is that the National Planning Commission report has not served in cabinet. They started a process of consulting, which they went into I think the DG's meeting cluster, and that's the basis of the August 10th statement, but they have not briefed cabinet. The Planning Commission is set up for purposes of assisting government to achieve its goals on the National Development Plan, the Vision 2030, and which the medium-term strategic framework is based. And that medium-term strategic framework is the responsibility of cabinet. We cannot release the report, anyone cannot release reports that affect government, about government programs, which is the medium-term strategic framework which we are implementing to achieving the NDP, without briefing cabinet. The NPC, or the 10-year review of the NDP, and the Sustainable Goals report by the Statistician General were supposed to have been tabled yesterday in cabinet.
And it seems the message is clear there from Minister Nchabeni, Moloko, that no report can be released by anyone without cabinet being briefed first.
Well, yes, indeed. And I suppose we would expect that is the case. But I've been told by the commissioners, some of them, that it never happened in the past, actually, that they have had to brief cabinet. They always briefed the president and the deputy president. But that was not the only thing that was spoken about here, Tumelo. I mean, cabinet also discussed the issue of water scarcity in parts of Gauteng and other areas, saying that the Minister of Water and Sanitation, Senzo Mchunu, will be meeting with mayors of these municipalities to find a way of addressing this. Another concerning issue that cabinet has discussed was the bird flu outbreak that is ravaging chickens across the country. They are saying that they are worried that if it continues, it might end up threatening food security. But they also caution that considering the extreme weather patterns, we have seen the devastation in parts of the Western Cape, parts of the Eastern Cape, and other parts of Gauteng. Cabinet is saying that it is actually warning that this devastation is likely to spread to other provinces, and as a result, they want the public to be aware of the possible devastation that may befall them. And of course, there's also the issue of the renaming of the William Nicol Drive in Johannesburg after a liberation stalwart, Winnie Madikizela Mandela. There are some people who have really criticized that move, saying that it would seem government wants to obliterate our history. But Minister Nchabeni, speaking for cabinet, is saying that it cannot be that the history of this country should reflect the only part or aspect of other people, the minorities in particular, while it ignores the contribution of some of the people who were in the forefront fighting for the liberation of this country. Tumelo.
Well, we leave it there, and thank you so much for giving us this update. That is eNCA reporter Moloko Moloto with that update for us. All right.